Well, I think the whole thrust of my argument suggests that I believe that market-based approaches, placing opportunities in people's paths through the market, is ultimately more effective than the charitable aid approaches. But having said that, I don't want to suggest that it's like one or the other. There are applications for development aid really in a situation where the market isn't working or isn't working as well as it should. If that aid is applied to, for example, strengthening a weak link in the chain or building, as it were, a bridge in the value chain where it doesn't yet exist. So it's not so much that we shouldn't have aid per se. It's really how it should be applied and where and when. Until fairly recently, people in each of these sectors had a certain wariness one of the other, you know. The government was looking at the corporate sector and how can we tax them. The corporate sector is looking at how can we avoid those taxes. Civil society is saying, well, how can we have a fairer, make the world a better place for everybody. And what they didn't realize or recognize sufficiently was that these interests are convergent, they're not divergent. So what a social enterprise is trying to do is to be part of and to catalyze a process by which these convergent interests are championed. When you consider those sort of longer term and very, very serious issues and challenges about global food security and about climate change and you know, water resource management and on and on, these are all very high level global issues, but the solution to them or the response to them needs to be translated into a sort of a language or a product or a service, if you like, which makes sense to ordinary folks. The smallholder farmer on the slopes of Mount Kenya is not interested in how much he or she contributes to the GDP of the country. They're not interested in, or can't be interested in, preserving the environment for posterity and future generations. They're concerned about how do they put food on the table, how do they send their kids to school, and all that good stuff. So it's really a question of operationalizing or translating a big idea or a big strategy into a practical solution which makes sense and is within reach of, you know, ordinary folks. That's what I'm interested in. It's that interface between those two.